Hello, everybody, and welcome to the World Ninja League Premier Series Finals here in the concrete jungle of Brooklyn, New York, Ferox Athletics. Right here, you see our course designers Ramses Valdez and Zach Eichenstein. Ramses with the power, Zach with the tech. You guys are definitely going to see that come out to display on the course today. Welcome from me, Mary Layton, the commentator ninja. I am joined by Travis Rosen, and we have been commentating the kids divisions, and we are very excited to bring you the mature kids female division here today. Can't wait for that. Travis, how you feeling today?
Great. It's been such a good day of competition already. I'm excited to see what these mature kids are going to bring to the course. I mean, there's been so many exciting performances and finishes already from the kids, and now these mature kids get to bring it up even another level. So it's going to be a great day.
It really is. And now, what's on the line? Why are we all here? So, these athletes are the best of the best. So, at the start of the Premier Series, in our qualifier competitions, we had the top 25% of athletes from the World Ninja League and also some internationally ranked standings, some internationally ranked athletes competed our qualifiers. And we took the top 4 athletes from those qualifiers and brought them here for this Premier Series final. There is a cash prize on the line. There are sponsorships at stake. We want these athletes to do well to attract those sponsors. And there's also just the pride of winning an international level competition. We'll see some athletes from the UK today, as well as from Israel. And we also have, throughout our competition this weekend, athletes from Australia as well as Canada. And so definitely a high level competition that these athletes are going to tackle. And we can't wait to see them do it. So the first thing that they're going to tackle is going to be the placement course. Now, the placement course has had an interesting story today. The placement course is a traditional flow. It is fall and done. This is a shorter format, and this determines your run order for the challenge course. Now, in most competitions, what we've seen is that the placement in the placement course sometimes determines the podium, but that hasn't been the case because of the extreme difficulty of the challenge course. The challenge course is highly technical. You're going to see some crazy moves, some crazy obstacles that are very difficult, but we think that our athletes are up for the challenge. Now, the athletes are given 2 retries for this course. They can only use 1 per obstacle. If they fall after their second attempt on the obstacle, then their run is over. Now, this one is going to be what determines the final results, and those final results, of course, being the Premier Series champion in the mature kids female division.
Yeah, it's going to be a really exciting group, and this starting off course format, the placement course, it's really fun because it's super fast, and it's really all about who can go the furthest, the fastest. Hopefully, we'll see a bunch of finishes, but that's going to be advantageous for these females as they go into the challenge course, because if they get a further back run order because of being faster in the placement course, that will help them see the people go before them, let them see what works, what doesn't work on different obstacles, gives them a bit of advantage. So it is important to place near the top of this placement course, but as you mentioned, Mary, it's not a requirement, because we have seen some podium finishers in the earlier age groups that did not place near the top of the placement course, but still won.
Yeah, we actually saw our top 3 male athletes in the kids division from the placement course did not even podium. We actually had our first place from the placement course end up in 10th place overall. Now, again, 10th place is nothing to sneer at. If you're talking about the best of the best, you score in 10th place here at the competition, you're still, top 10 in the world. So that's pretty cool. So that definitely takes nothing away from what these athletes have thrown today, but it really does just highlight the difficulty of these courses and how, furthest the fastest, as much as that is what runs our game here, you really have to be technically sound in order to execute on these obstacles as well. So
Yeah,
who's going to be executing on these obstacles? We're going to take a look at our top athletes here. Addison Stockham is our first challenger. She's coming to us from Motive. Trains at the Jungle Gym. Now, we all know Jungle Gym. You see the green theme from a mile away. trains with Caleb Bergstrom and Ashley Bergstrom, and definitely a super strong athlete. Came in second place at Motive, where they had some technical obstacles here. Our next athlete that we are going to be highlighting is going to be Aria Capozzi. Now, she took second place at Modus. Trains at Hybrid Ninja Academy. That's a place where they have some pretty strong coaches there. And Aria had a very strong performance at Modus. Some tricky obstacles at Modus, not going to lie. Lots of movement, lots of fingertip strength, and I think that is going to bode well for Aria here today. Our next athlete is Claire Norris. Claire Norris came in third place at Life Force. Now, where does she train? She trains at the Momentum Movement Academy. I got to talk about this Life Force course here. It was just execution after execution after execution. And I think that really mirrors what is required of the athletes here on the challenge course. So I think that this bodes well for her. Came in third place there. Great to see her out here. Finally, moving on to Eberly Camps. Eberly Camps, you see her there at the Austin Ninjas competition. She came in third place there. Third in South Central region for Mature Kids Female Division. Now, she loves summertime, swimming and playing softball, and she's also a really stellar athlete. There were some interesting moves. This particular obstacle that you see right here was super challenging throughout the course. And finally, perhaps the fan favorite for today is Megan Moore, the Gaelic Ninja. If you don't know who Megan Moore is, I mean, just watch these videos here. She's super strong. She trains here at Ferox pretty regularly. So these obstacles are definitely new for her, but she's very familiar with this campus. And she is, as I would be remiss if I did not tell you this, this 2023 Season 8 World Champion. Just so much power, so much ability. I literally don't know if I can see anybody but Megan Moore taking this, but we got some really strong athletes, some that we haven't even mentioned, that could challenge her. You never know, but those are my predictions for today.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting day, Mary. These girls are so strong, and again, they're all here for a reason. They've put in the training, they've done well in the various competitions, and so that's why they're at the finals. And so we are going to see some excellent ninja competition. And again, today, you kind of talked about this before, but the courses are technical. Ferox is known for putting together very technical courses. There's different types of courses. There can be brute strength courses, there can be speed courses, but then there's also ones that are very technical, which means basically you have to be very precise. You have to know exactly how to do the obstacle correctly to make it. If you don't, it's going to take a lot more energy, a lot more time, maybe not even a clear. So it's going to be a really exciting day, and I'm looking forward to seeing what these Mature Kids Female can do.
Yeah, and I think all of these athletes have such a strong a strong chance of doing well here. So our first athlete who's going to be running is Maya Kotarska. And she actually qualified at True Function, which is was our European competition, or our competition in the UK. And she did so incredibly well. I was able to watch her run last night. I was just catching up, and she cleared, I think pretty much cleared the course, but she also got the furthest out of all the athletes, male or female. And so that just talks about her level of skill as an athlete. And I'm really pumped to see her get out here on the course. She's been doing Ninja Warrior and OCR since she was about 7 years old. So she says if she's not at the gym, she's regularly training at home. So she's one athlete that I'm definitely excited to see as we get going here.
Yeah, I continue to be so impressed and blown away by the strength that these females exhibit. I've seen so many who, they're not that old, but they are so strong in the upper body. who can do lock-offs just seemingly for days. And for those who don't know what a lock-off is, basically think of a pull-up hold position, but with only one arm. And they can do it for so long, and that is a very important strength for ninja obstacles if you can do that. And some of these girls, they can just do it for days, it seems like. So super, super strong, very talented athletes.
Yeah, incredibly talented across the board for all of our athletes here. Well, as we are continuing here, there's some other athletes that we're going to be very excited to see compete today. We have Emily Bauco and Vivian Serafini. They also placed very high at their competitions. And Harper Bergen, another one, just across the board. I could probably go through every single name here with something positive to say about these athletes. It is just a stacked field, an absolutely stacked field. As we're looking through some of these stats, we have Sally Halabi. She is ranked third across all of Israel. We're going to get to see her compete soon. But first up, we were just talking about her. It is Maya Kotarska. She is going to get us started here in this competition. And let's see how she does on our placement course. Taking a deep breath. She's the first athlete to go.
It's always tough being the first competitor because you're kind of setting the pace for everybody who is to follow. And, I applaud her already for just being up there. She looks focused, she looks dialed in, and, she gets to kind of set how this competition is going to go for everyone who follows. And just because she's first and hasn't watched anybody do it, she can still crush it. She could even clear this course right now. I'd love to see that, but it's definitely possible. Let's go, Maya.
Yeah, now there is some differences in time limits for our male and female athletes. We'll see if that holds true for the mature kids division. And let's see, I think we see this timer going off here. She is off. Looks like 1:10 is her time limit. Now that's similar to what we saw for the kids female division. And we'll see how many changes we have here in between the mature kids placement course versus the kids placement course. I don't think we're going to see too many differences here. Maybe a little bit of an increased distance in some of these bars. And oh no, it looks like that trampoline got the better of her. We saw a couple athletes kind of just bounce off the front before. So that is a bummer for Maya, but taking nothing away from her, that's we still have the opportunity. Like we said, the results from the placement course in our last division did not at all reflect the challenge course results. So she's not done yet. We will definitely hear more from Maya.
Yeah, she still did a good job. Looked like she had some nerves. Almost fell on that first obstacle. It was a good save. But then, yeah, she just came off, that hold to the mini tramp a little too fast, a little faster than I think she was anticipating, and just skipped right off it, and unfortunately is done.
Well, coming up is Sally Halabi. Now, Sally is ranked third in ninja category for children in Israel. As part of the Maccabia League in Israel, she was the 2022 champion. So lots of high-level competitions for her, and she is crushing it. We're so excited to see the international contingent of athletes that are here. She's looking pretty smooth here. Knows what she's going for. Didn't waste any time going to that bar where the ring is attached to it. Flew all the way out. Is trying to keep that momentum going forward.
Yeah, I think she's doing a great job so far, Mary. But what we noticed earlier today, if you want to clear this course, really there can't be any extra swings, any extra movements, or at least very few. And I do feel like she's going a little too slow. She wants to clear this course, but hopefully she can go still deep into the course. But she only has 10-ish seconds left. So come on, Sally.
Yeah, I think if she keeps. Oh, and it looks like she might have failed that dismount. Those feet just might have dropped down behind her. But you know, she was methodical getting through that. You know, she knew which movements she was. Big hugs from coaches, coaches and family. So they're definitely proud of her. And we'll definitely be seeing more of Sally as well later on. Moving on to Miss Susie Q. Riddell. She is coming to us from Iron Sports, and she got fourth place at Austin Ninjas. She is an Arrow of Light Cub Scouts, and she loves making friends from all over the world, and also would like to highlight that she trains with Daniel Gill, Isabella Wakeham, Josh Salinas, and Grant Kingham, Josh Norton, and Lauren Hotchkiss, and she says even more than that. Now, those first two names are impressive in and of themselves. Daniel Gill, Isabella Wakeham. Let's see if the flow and efficiency of those two athletes shows up in Susie Q today as she tackles this placement course. Quickly through. All right, getting some nice big pulls up there. Would like to see her move a little quicker through this section, kind of doubting that reach. Nice reach there. I like that a lot. She's not going to that other bar, lining up the link so she can go right to the trampoline here. Big pull back. She's really going to need to throw those hips up if she wants to get to this next one. Now, the reach here is not proving as difficult for our mature kid females as it was for the kids division. She's got just enough time to finish this footwork obstacle. Maybe get a few moves on this Lachey lane right here. Build up a little more confidence. And that's going to do it for her run. She's cleared, run but carefully, that fourth obstacle in a time of 1:04.
Yeah, she really did a good job. I think you mentioned it a little bit. She probably needed to go a little quicker on that second obstacle. And again, for all these girls, that's really the biggest time killer. If they take lots of extra swings, kind of take their time, that's really going to eat the clock. So if they want to have a chance to finish the course, they really need to make it through that very quickly, very efficiently, with no wasted movements.
Yep, and now we are moving on to Emily Bauco. So Emily Bauco is coming to us from Ninja Mania, another gym where I will often say where they like to go fast. Coach Ryan and Kristen over there, they just are so good at getting their athletes to move quickly and efficiently through courses, and we're definitely seeing that out of Emily today. Emily, one of those mature kids, females that is feared in the New England region. She is always a contender for a top spot. And so just, you can see it as she's going through here, really just hitting every move. You know, you'll only probably see one backswing here before she goes for it, and a quick release here once she's lined up. Great work. I think we might have enough time to clear the rest of this course.
Yeah, it's really going to depend on this last series of obstacles because she has to link so many of these different swing and flight elements together. They can be a time killer, just like that second obstacle I was talking about. But depending on Lachey ability and whatnot, it can be done, but she's going to have to really move it.
Yep, I like that link that she did right there. Oh, if she had gone for it, she maybe would have had it. But I think she's going to just run out of time. But it's still a great performance out of Emily. That is going to put her, I believe, into first place as of right now for the placement course.
Yeah, that
We
was.
are headed.
I was going to say that was an impressive run from her. She really did a great job, and just a little short from clearing that course. Ran out of time, but that was really good.
All right, and we're going to move on to our first athlete that we highlighted at the start of this. Addison Stockham trains out of the Jungle Gym. And, I already mentioned some of her coaches, Kayla Bergstrom, Ashley Bergstrom, and we know that those people like to go quick. They like to move fast and efficiently. And so I'm very excited to see our first Jungle Gym athlete here on the placement course, because those runs are always exciting to watch.
Yeah, well, she definitely comes from a great lineage of ninja coaches, that is for sure. And so I'd love to see her just take this, all they poured into her and just, lay it all out on the line during this course.
All right, Addison's using. Okay, good. I'd like to see more confidence in that footwork there. She did use her hands, but ultimately I don't think slowed her down too much. This is the make or break section right here. There it is. Confident in those reaches. Big pull there, grabbing the trapeze bar. Gonna take herself to the dismount. Looks like she made it. That's great. Now, similar to Emily Bacco, she's gonna have about 30 seconds to get here. Get through this obstacle. It's looking good so far, but you wouldn't think so, but these 20 seconds go by really quickly. First sidebar move. Ooh, and didn't link to that sidebar. It looks like she's gonna go for the links here at the end. Oh, I don't know if she's gonna have it. Oh man, and just ran out of time.
Yeah, that really shows how it does sometimes come down to the seconds. So, an extra swing here, a slight pause there, can make the difference between clearing or not. And she was so close, but Addison is in the lead so far.
Yeah, great work for Addison, coming in just a couple seconds faster than Emily did through that fourth obstacle. Now, our next athlete, Vivian Serafini. So, Vivian made it to stage 3 of Worlds, came in 14th place in the nation. Trains at TA Fitness Plymouth, and I've seen Vivian compete a fair amount. Just another one of those athletes that you're always looking out for at competitions. She knows how to move quickly, and you can see that here, just the way she's absolutely attacking those steps.
When you mentioned attack, I loved how she started those rings right there. She was so quick, so powerful. She really was attacking it. And I mean, she's going straight into, next obstacle, into next obstacle. It's really, really impressive.
Oh, and that slide, she has so much power there. That was great. Now she's taking a few hesitant backswings there, but she's still going to have probably about 30 seconds here. Just a little bit more time than I think Addison had to get through this. And she is capable of throwing some pretty good links, some pretty decent laches. Ooh, little hesitation there. Big, huge pull. You can see she's really cranking for it. And she's going to need to link these last couple of moves. She doesn't have a ton of time. 3, 2, 1. Oh my gosh. Oh, and you can see that disappointment on her face. She knows the difference between that, a clear there is like just this move, like right there. Right, that's the difference maker. It's just having that confidence to go after your first back pull. But still, coming in at 40 seconds, that's a pretty strong run right there.
Yeah, it definitely is. You saw that she looked upset, but I know she wanted to clear, but that was still a really respectable run. And I know she came up just short, but she should be proud of that.
All right, well, our crowd's getting amped up out there, and now we've got Claire Norris, and she qualified at Life Force. We chatted a little bit about that course, and she placed first in the inaugural Canadian Ninja League finals in the 6 to 8 age group, so no stranger to high-level competitions here. And she says in her bio she'd like to give a quick shout out to both Kayla and Lyndon who are watching at home. So I hope you guys are cheering on your sister. She is crushing it right now. Some nice quick movements there. Love to see her go right to that trampoline first try. Oh, but just missing that reach. And now her swing is just a little bit wonky. The timing, I hope she goes back to that ring. I think that'd be a smart idea. Really reset that swing. Nice recovery. Although we haven't seen this happen, she's out in no man's land with that ring or that trapeze swing. Looks like she just didn't have quite enough energy to pull herself through there. That's okay. We'll get to see her come and compete again on the challenge course. And again, we've made the comment before. We'll make it again. Not necessarily a determination of who ends up being on the podium based on how people are doing in the placement course. All right, now this is going to be a run that everybody has been anticipating. This is our first look at Megan Moore. Now, Vivian was super close to a clear. Megan is, I'm just going to say it, Megan's going to clear. Unless something happens that we are not expecting, this should be an easy clear for Megan. Her links are fearless. She is fearless. I don't see anything on this course that this girl isn't capable of doing. Taking a little bit of a slower approach through the steps than perhaps Vivian did. But once we get to these upper body obstacles, let me tell you, there is nothing that is going to slow this girl down. I don't think we're going to see a single unnecessary backswing here. All right, taking one right here. That was probably smart. One backswing, go. She's crushing it so far.
Yeah, she really is, Mary. She's got a great pace. She looks very intentional with all of her movements, and seems like she has a well thought out strategy. It looks like she's even big Lachey right there.
Yeah, she's so capable of that. Her max is 11 feet. Complete links all the way through. Oh, did Lachey to that last bowl, but wow. Clear with plenty of time. So much time. That's why she's my top pick, everybody, because she's speedy, and the fearlessness that she has here, she also has in technique. So I'm a big Megan Moore fan.
Yeah, and just for people who don't quite understand or maybe haven't watched some things like this very much, how she went about that whole last series of obstacles is phenomenal. I mean, that saved her so much time, and it's so difficult. So props to Megan Moore. She just blew that up and had so much time left. Way to go.
Yeah, and it's you'll actually get to see there's going to be a difference in the athletes, and we'll talk a little bit more as we get Kinsey going off here. Kinsey Carvin, coming us out of Ninja Nation Huntersville, World Ninja League Southeast Regional Champion in the 2023 season. So your most recent season. This is your Southeast Regional Champ, and look at this. She also got second place here at Ferox, coming in just behind Megan Moore, who we just saw. Oh, and look at that aggression right there. She reached up immediately. I think we're going to see a similar time to Megan's here. Taking that one back pull. Now, as you guys are watching, to understand just the level of difficulty in the movements, think about what you're seeing from each athlete. Megan only took one swing here. Kinsey doing a good job of building up and having to take a couple more swings. You'll notice differences in how the athletes are doing it here. Kinsey's going to that side, but she's still moving really efficiently, really effectively. She's got about 10 seconds left. We might be able to get it. I like that she skipped that sidebar. She knew she had to. 3 seconds. She's going to need to be quick on that buzzer. Oh, no. Oh, my gosh. Oh, man. They call it a buzzer beater, but we didn't actually beat the buzzer.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the same situation we've already talked about a couple times, where it literally came down to probably even tenths of a second for her that time. And so she definitely had several extra swings, and so even just one of those not taking place, she probably would have cleared that. So that's a bummer, but still a great course run.
Yeah, and we are moving pretty quickly through our female athletes here, and we've got a huge amount of athletes that are coming through here. So we're moving on to Harper Bergen. Now Harper trains out of the Warrior Factory Syracuse. She is really definitely a strong contender. So she came in 4th place at the Fair Oaks qualifier, and I gotta say, I wasn't expecting that for her in this competition. She always has a really strong showing at all of her competitions. She's hit stage 1 and 2 buzzers at the World Ninja League Championships. Really just strong performances overall. Trains with Julian McConnell and Jay Lewis. And they're teaching her how to move. Oh, and it looks like she's... Oh, man, I'm... When they get to this point, it is so hard. That's such a long trapeze. It is so difficult to build up enough energy. You're actually seeing her get less and less movement with every swing, even though she's trying.
Yeah,
not
Mary,
the result that...
Yeah, that's one of those obstacles that you kind of have to go the first time, and if you don't, you're going to lose momentum and just not be able to get enough swing to reach that landing platform. So unfortunately, she hesitated there, and it did cost her.
Yeah, that's tough to see, especially when you know the athletes have more in them. But let's take a look at Aria Capozzi. Now, she is the athlete that took 2nd place at Modus. We mentioned she trains at Hybrid Ninja Academy. Also does gymnastics and softball, so got a lot of upper body strength, a lot of air awareness. I like how she was in advance of grabbing the bar, sending her hips back to kind of preload her next move.
Good grab.
Yeah, really did a great job of just sending it right there. She just saw Harper go before her. She knows she doesn't want to get stuck in no man's land. 30 seconds on the clock to finish up this final line.
I think if she's efficient here, she definitely has a chance to clear this course.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I just want to see her go for it. Come on, Aria. All right, with the links, plenty of time to get to that buzzer. What a run. Oh man, she looks emotional. That must have been a push.
Yeah,
but a strong push.
Yeah, she did really, really good. It goes to show that if you have that right technique, especially in that last series of obstacles, you can really make up so much time and hit that buzzer. And that was great by Aria right there.
All right, getting down to our last athlete here. Our last couple of athletes. We've got Everly Camps. Everly took 3rd at the Austin Ninjas qualifier. And that was also a placement course where you really had to move. They had a lot of obstacles in their placement course, and so Eberly is no stranger to the push that is required here. Trains at Rise at the Warehouse, phenomenal gym that we down there in the Dallas area.
So yeah, she's doing good so far through this. One thing I've said it before, just how important it is to kind of have a game plan before you go into your course run. Really important to think through how you're going to go about each obstacle. Even down to how am I going to grab? Like even right now, she's unfortunately getting a little caught up. That definitely ate some time, but it's good to have a strategy so that when you get up on the course, you don't even have to think as much because you've already run it through your head several times.
Yeah, and oh no. And just flew back off of that trapeze bar. Not the run that I think she was looking for, but, to your point, Travis, I think that more well thought out moves are still more efficient than hesitant big moves. Because if you're sitting there wondering if you should do the move or not, you're spending those seconds that you would be spending on a confident a bunch of moves. So that's always what I tell my athletes, is that you need to pick something. Don't doubt it. Speaking of not doubting it, let me tell you about an athlete that never doubts herself. This is Kaylee Hanlon. Now, she has been training at TI Fitness Plymouth and just dominating the mature kids female circuit. She's absolutely been crushing it. That aggression that you saw out of Vivian, her teammate, you're going to see the same thing out of Kaylee. And Kaylee is so fearless. I think this is going to be your... Oh, I spoke too soon. Come on, Kaylee. Oh, man. And you can see she's really trying to build up that swing, but she's just going to drop down. You can see her coach on the side just saying, what's going on there? That's definitely not characteristic of Kaylee. Normally she would absolutely go for it.
Yeah, I will say that's been one of my surprises so far, the number of people who have failed coming off of that trapeze bar. Because we didn't see anything like that with the kids division, but my guess is that the landing platform is a bit further for the mature kids. But, it's just like it's helpful from a psychological standpoint when you see somebody clear an obstacle that nobody has cleared. When you see somebody fall a certain way on an obstacle, that can almost have the same type of psychological effects, but negatively, where it's like people start overthinking, a move, and I'm not sure if that's what's happening right now. It just looks like they need to be a little more aggressive, but I think they should be getting this trapeze. Hopefully, we'll see some differences here.
Yeah, it's definitely. I think the dismount's a little bit further back, and the athletes that are willing to commit to those big moves definitely are going to have the advantage. Now, I think going into our kind of thoughts here, Megan Moore, like a phenomenal run. We mentioned that, in our last division, in the kids male division, just the differentiation between first and second. Right. So Jamie Collins Jr. had a margin of about 6 seconds ahead of the rest of the field. Megan Moore is sitting with a 10-second clear. Not only is there a 10 seconds above anybody else in the rest of the field, but she also has phenomenal technique. So, again, I'll probably say this again later in the stream, but I think Megan Moore could absolutely, completely run away with this competition. Although, Aria Capozzi, a really, really great run as well. Here we are taking a look at Megan. Just the commitment that she had to throw those huge moves and link everything. Really, really impressive stuff. Aria close behind her, linking all those movements, coming in with about 5 seconds left on the clock. So she was really getting that clear under pressure. Now, when we're talking about some of our dark horses, I think I have 3 dark horses actually, or 3 wild cards. So as far as technical execution, I gotta talk about Vivian and Emily Balco. So Vivian Serafini and Emily Balco. I know Emily is capable of executing tough moves on the first try, and Vivian is a similar situation, right? And so we really did see that in the last age group, it came down to technical execution, right? The athlete that got first place did have the most time and was the fastest through that. But in the end of the day, other athletes that were capable of moving quickly really kind of struggled with that technique. So that's why my two dark horses here are going to be Emily and Vivian, because I just know that they have that in their tanks to execute technically, as well as moving at a fairly fast pace.
Yeah, I want to really just focus on Aria too. And Megan obviously just crushed that course, but Aria was very strong from the get-go. And, even for a moment in the last series of obstacles, it was kind of like, oh, is she going to have enough time? But she totally pulled it out with several seconds. And, you can just see the muscles there. They're super, super strong. Yeah. These girls, they really do blow my mind.
Yeah, it's going to be an impressive battle, to be sure. With so many athletes coming close to clearing that course, and two of them, clearing it by a decent margin, I think it's going to be a very exciting battle.
Yeah.
So we are going. Oh, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was going to say it is going to be exciting, and you can go into this next segment.
So we are super grateful to have NinjaWorks, the ultimate in ninja timing systems, here backing us up at the World Ninja League Premier Series. For anybody who's run a competition, you know that setting up the course and getting the athletes through and doing the rules, that's all tough enough, as well as watching hands and feet and if everyone's clearing the planes. But you don't have to worry about timing. All you need is your NinjaWorks buzzer system, and you are good to go with a professional level competition. So we're really excited that we have NinjaWorks on board, and we are also going to talk a little bit about Slapchocks. They are one of our sponsors as well.
Has this ever happened to you? Where's my truck bag? Ooh, I have a solution for that. Slapchocks! You take the chalk ball, put it in the mesh pocket, zip it up, slap, and get your chalk. Slapchocks are made right here in Springdale, Arkansas at Interform, the small batch manufacturing company. We're helping our community and providing local jobs to minorities and women of diverse backgrounds. I'm Joseph Rao, Ninja Warrior, rock climber, and the CEO of Slapchocks.
We will be sure to let you know if we see any Slapchock sightings here in our course. Chime in the chat. How many Slapchocks do you think we're going to see throughout the course of this weekend? So we've had one pair that I've cited so far. So let us know in the comments how many Slapchocks you think we're going to see. Moving on from Slapchocks, what do you need Slapchocks for? You need Slapchocks because you got to hang on to some obstacles. And when we're talking about obstacles to hang off of, it's probably going to be a DGS obstacle. DGS sponsors Addie Herman, one of our elite athletes who will be competing later. Travis, tell us about your experience with DGS obstacles.
Well, they're just a real quality obstacle company. When we're doing this type of stuff, you want something that you can count on. You want something that is going to hold up to what you're doing with it. It's going to stand the test of time. Again, ninjas have a way of sometimes using obstacles even in ways they're not intended. You want something that is definitely strong and a quality product. That's what you get with DGS.
Yeah, absolutely. DGS, just the best obstacle manufacturer in the game. I also love that they partner with, other creatives in the field who are innovating on obstacles. They have, Matt Bradley of Barn Built Ninja as well, and then Batarangs by Brett Sims, one of our course designers for the Premier Series. So just really cool that they are able to do that. Now we have another sponsor that we're going to highlight. We talked about Addie Herman, who's going to be competing tomorrow. Electric Enzo is also going to be competing tomorrow in the elite male division. Can't wait to see him out there on that course, but let's take a minute to hear about his organization, Ocean Needs Everyone.
Ocean Needs Everyone is celebrating 5 years of saving the oceans. My name's Enzo, and through Ocean Needs Everyone, I help save the ocean by doing beach cleanups, CO and mangrove plantings, making art about recycled plastic, and making films regarding the ocean's health. How can you help save the oceans at home? Well, even if you don't live near an ocean, trash can end up in there eventually, so cut down on your use of single-use plastics. If you see trash on the roads or beaches, make sure to pick it up. Use less gas-powered vehicles, fish responsibly, and help support local organizations. I started my organization when I was 12 years old because I wanted to make a difference. So remember, you're never too young to follow your dreams and make a change. Let's all save our oceans together, one piece of trash at a time.
All right, well, we are just about to get into our challenge course today. And before we do that, let's talk about our top 3 going into this battle. We're going to have all of their faces up here in just a quick second. All right, so there is our run order. You can see how the run order is looking. Now our top 3 athletes, Megan Moore, Aria Capozzi, and Kinsey Carvin. So where did they land in this competition? So Megan Moore, again, we mentioned this just a bit ago, clear margin of excellence and a clear time margin over the rest of the field. 10 seconds faster to clear above Aria Capozzi. Aria, still a phenomenal run, absolutely taking nothing away from her run, cleared in 1:05. And Kinsey was just on the cusp of clearing the course as well. So, you know, in the past couple of divisions, we've seen that the speed doesn't necessarily make all that much of a difference if you're not able to execute on the technical aspects of this course. Now, I'm not as familiar with Aria and Kinsey, and so I gotta give Megan an edge here because I do know she's capable of a lot of technical movements in addition to speed. So I do think she is still the top pick to win after seeing things play out in the placement course. But I don't want to take anything away from Aria and Kinsey. They had really phenomenal runs, and if you're able to execute quickly and have the same level of commitment that these females did through the first part of the course, I think that's also going to give you an edge because, you know, if you are struggling a little bit on a technical piece, if you can give yourself more time on those technical pieces, it's not going to be quite as devastating if you had, say, just a slower run to some of those more technical points.
Yeah, I think these top 3 are going to turn in phenomenal performances, but I actually think there's several others as well who have the potential for sure to go very deep into this course, if not clear the course. But we've seen the course already, and there's going to be some minor tweaks and changes for this age group, but it is not easy, and we've seen that you can be the fastest in the placement course but not even finish this challenge course. So it's going to take a lot of strategy, it's going to take a lot of endurance. You know, muscles, they start giving up after, you know, so long. So it's really going to show who has put in the training, and I'm excited. I want to see some of these females clear this course.
Yeah, we've only had one, other than the placement course, we've actually only had one clear today in the challenge course, and that was done by our Kaylin, our mature, or our kids male winner. But maybe Maya is going to be the one to do it. I talked about her at the start of this competition. She really had an extremely strong performance at True Function, and, you know, just really great execution. Just one obstacle after another she was able to knock out. And so I'm watching this with anxious anticipation. I really want to see her show us what I know she's capable of here.
Yeah, and as we're watching this challenge course, like in the placement course, you don't want to have extra swings. Oh, fell off there.
And, yeah, and she was going for a more efficient launch right to it, but I think she just maybe underestimated the spin on that bar.
Yeah, and for those watching from home, with that bar, it's not held in place, so it can obviously fall off. So you don't have to, but it's much easier to grab it with a mixed grip. But that's challenging, and that is what she missed on that first try. But what I was saying with the placement course, you don't want to have extra swings because it eats up time. But for this course, you don't want to have a lot of extra swings because it eats up energy. Because these girls are going to have to save all of their energy. Wow, that was an incredible move right there. But yeah, they need to save all their energy if they want to finish this course.
Yeah, and it looks like the skyhook orientation there has just been moved slightly differently to kind of force that hop. And now that we are here, Maya's got to get to that dismount, which she does. Wasn't quite as smooth, I think, as she was hoping, but that's all right. And now we're on to Slogies. Slogies was the story of the day for the kids female division. And we're hoping that it's not too much of a story here for the mature kids. Looks like that sloper just threw Maya right off.
Let's say maybe it's too bad she doesn't have any slap chalks right now.
I know, right? Oh, and that's going to do it for Maya's run. Those slopers just proving to be pretty difficult to hold on to, but really great to see Maya get through some of these tougher obstacles, being really the first one to show us how to do this skyhook move. She did not have any room for error right there. That was an impressive to see first time through.
Yeah, that going from one hook to the other, it's kind of a scary feeling. You know, you have to just fully send it and go for it and hope for the best, and she did great.
Now we have Sally Halabi coming to us from Israel, and she's proud of it. She's pointing to the back of her shirt. Team Israel, she says. Now, she was one of the athletes that struggled with that trapeze bar, so hoping to see a little bit more commitment from her here today. Nothing quite as challenging as building up the swing on that trapeze bar. Great power here.
Yeah, I have to say, the whole Israel contingent, there's such a big group competing here today. I'm really impressed.
Yeah, I think, right now, I would say that the U.S.'s biggest exposure internationally when it comes to ninja competitions is probably Australia. We're most familiar with Australian athletes, and we know that, a grip gauntlet is their style. And so it's just really cool to see around the world and how those kind of play out in a more, I would say, U.S. style competition.
Yeah, definitely. And with this obstacle right here, though, the skyhook chaos, she is going to have to really be efficient. Whoa!
Ooh, what a
fall
peel
right there.
out.
With that, I like to always point this out. When doing ninja stuff, it can be really tricky, and there can be falls. But one thing I love, as you look around at Ferox here, something they have a lot of, other than obstacles, is mats. They've got a lot of mats, a lot of padding. They're wanting to make sure everybody is safe, because I've seen my sketchy backyard courses in my day, so definitely they've got a lot of mats, and so they are keeping these competitors safe.
Oh, and she gets that move. Awesome work. Oh, no. And, that is unfortunate. She reached up to the skyhook, which was out of play. And unfortunately, WNL rules, if you touch something that's not in bounds, you are called out. So that is unfortunate for Sally here. but still, coming back from a fall like she had and getting that move, that's a strong performance right there that I do hope that she is, that she can walk away proud of.
Yeah, whenever you fall, there's a mental component of getting back up. And so whenever I see a ninja, get back up, continue fighting, continue trying, I mean, that in itself is a victory of sorts.
All right, and now we're going to take a look at Eberly Camps here and see how she does. Now, Eberly got, again, stuck on the trapeze bar. Didn't have quite the run that she was looking for. Eberly came in 3rd place at Austin Ninjas, trains at Rise at the Warehouse. She's got some great coaches out there. So hopefully she gets to show us a little bit more of what she has in the tank.
Well, and what I like with some of these ninjas, well, most of these ninjas, they're very competitive, they're very tough, and if they wind up having a little bit earlier exit than they wanted, typically they're going to come back with even more fight and determination. So I'm looking forward to Eberly's run here. She did great. She's looking at these sky hooks now and getting some advice there from her coach, and hopefully she can make it through here. This is one of those big energy and time burners. Like if you're not efficient, this can really sap your strength, but also really run out the clock. So she had the same type of fall that we saw earlier. Just really need to get a lot bigger swing to be able to make that transfer.
Yeah, I think what's a little bit different about this from the previous age divisions is that the one point that really did zap a lot of the energy for some of the athletes is now kind of removed with this sort of forced flèche here. But it just amps up the difficulty, right? You still have to be precise with the ring placement, and now you got to do it in the air. So, no breaks for these athletes here. Just because that move is a little less pumpy and now just more precision-y. All right, so Eberly is moving on to the slogies. Haven't seen anyone get past this just yet.
I think I might have liked to see her take even just a couple more seconds, because I would think she's getting a bit tired at this point. So she got some chalk there from a coach, but probably could have taken a few more seconds just to kind of get a breather, because this is such a pumpy obstacle. And again, pumpy, that means your muscles are just getting full of blood, lactic acid, and they basically stop wanting to work. Oh yeah, she's getting tired.
Oh yeah, and it looks like they removed that T-ledge from in between the 3rd to last and 2nd to last slogie. So there's going to be, we talked about how in the earlier age divisions that lâché was pretty challenging for a lot of the athletes. Lâché, just flying through midair and grabbing onto the next thing. But it looks like it's forced now, so we are going to have to see these athletes execute that move, whether they like it or not. Just not enough pop in the hips right there for Eberly to get up to the top. But still a great effort out of her.
Yeah, when I think especially after the placement course, I think she should be happy with that. She did really well. I'm probably not as far as she would have liked to have gone, but that was still a really good effort. And those slogies, seriously, are very challenging, especially coming after the sky hook. I mean, that's a really tricky 1-2 combination.
Yeah, and I think after having a fall on the sky hooks too, those slogies require precision. They require, just thoughtful movement. And if you're feeling even just a little bit amped up from having a fall before, that can just make it very challenging to keep your focus there. Claire Norris starting her challenge course run quickly through the first obstacle. Now she's moving on to the spinners. Taking a lot of swings here to get to that fidget. Hopefully she can clean up a couple of those swings.
I've definitely seen a lot of extra swings from Claire. I don't think she necessarily needs all those swings. In the middle of a course run, it can help you. Oh yeah, she needs a little more energy there. But in the middle of a course run, it can help you feel more comfortable to take more swings. But it really does sap your strength when you're talking about a long course like this.
Absolutely. And oh, she gets it. I didn't know she'd have enough right there, but great work out of Claire, getting that clear. Now it is on to this challenging Skyhook Chaos. What a great name for this obstacle, Skyhook Chaos.
Yeah, it really fits, I think. It's a really challenging obstacle for sure.
All right, time for this first move right here. You want just a little bit of backswing, which Claire is building up. She's thinking about it. She knows she has to go for it. Oh, and wasn't quite ready to explode off of that. This is going to be her second retry, so she won't have any retries left if she clears this, and she does have to clear it to move on.
You know, I will say it's nice having some retries, but when you get to this point where you know the next fall you're done, it is quite a pressure-packed moment. So I know Claire is feeling it right now, but hopefully she can get redemption on that last try and keep going further.
Yeah, and I'm looking at this. I'm trying to think if we might see any athletes try to skip through here by swinging off of that kind of one free swinging hook, but I think it's a little too far for anybody to do that. Oh no, and just not ready to make that pop. An expertly placed pillow mat, though, I do have to say. So she is okay. But what a run for Claire. You know, really had an early fall she had to get through. So that's not easy to do that early on in the course. All right, moving on to Harper Bergen. Now Harper, another athlete that I mentioned had just a little bit less results of a run, I guess you could say, than I think we were expecting. But we are going to get to see her show us what she's got in the tank today on the challenge course. You can see those links, casually one-handing that last grab.
Yeah, right now she's just flying through this, and I've said it before, but when you get a ninja who does obstacles or even a whole course and makes it look effortless and easy, you know you're looking at a pretty skilled ninja, because this stuff is really, really hard. And so when you see somebody do it in a way that looks easy, they're really good. Although she is getting stuck on this right now. I think maybe trying to figure out what technique exactly she's trying to take, but we'll see how this transfer goes right here.
Oh yeah, and just not enough bit of a backswing right there for her. I think she needs just a little bit more pull before going into that move. It has to be a quick pull, and then you immediately need to be ready to pop that ring off. You can't spend your time and wait for it to come to you. That's kind of, this is the first look at a really more technical move in this course.
Yeah, just
Skyhook trans.
I was going to say, it just kind of looks like there's a little bit of hesitation when, you know, she probably needs to be a little bit more aggressive. Wow, but she made that. That is very impressive. Way to go,
That's
Harper.
Great.
Yeah, it's great that she's getting some shock right now, because, you know, that skyhook's really taking it out of these girls, I think. Especially that, seeing her shake out already. This is gonna be a challenge, but we'll see if Harper can do it.
fingertip grip as well as that sloper grip is being taxed right now. Okay, well, wanted to go off to the side but decided not to. I think she's trying to avoid reaching while keeping that hand that's on the sloper. She's going to need a lot of power to get up here. Oh, and a little bit too much. Wasn't quite as precise with that left hand as she needed to be.
Well, yeah, you said it right there, precise. You know, we talked about how technical this course is, and that move right there, they're tired. These girls are feeling it. Their arms are burning, and yet you need to launch yourself from a little hold to another little hold with absolute precision. So she does need a little bit more swing, a little more quickness with her hands so that she can get there, grab it, and absorb her body weight instead of being ripped off like that. It's really taxing, really challenging. We'll see if she gets it on try number 2.
And it's funny because it's not just a cliffhanger to a cliffhanger. It's a sloper cliffhanger. Oh, and it looks like she just didn't have anything left in the tank for that move, just kind of dropping down from the cliffhanger. Still had some great moments here, especially getting that skyhook transfer after an initial fall. But as we're getting further into the run order here, hopefully we're going to see these athletes kind of figuring things out. And yet again, we have our first runner of the challenge course hanging on to the top spot. Now, here is one of my I've had a lot of wild cards in this competition just because all of these female athletes really are so strong, and Kaylee is one of them, my third wild card, I guess you could say. I've seen her execute some pretty technical things, and she also listens to her coach extremely well, and so that's kind of why, I think that I'm expecting good things from her, especially if she gets hung up somewhere. Just able to kind of absorb what Lucas is saying and get through the obstacles.
Yeah, I've been really looking forward to seeing her run because, again, she's one of those ninjas who seems like a total competitor, and I know that she came up definitely short on the placement round, the placement course, and so I know that she's coming out ready to go on this, and I'm excited to see how far she goes.
And Kaylee is our first female athlete to get that move first try, which I think is going to bode well for the rest of her run here. She's got almost 3 whole minutes left on the clock, getting through those first 4.
And it seems like how courses like this go oftentimes is there's that obstacle that proves to be really problematic for a lot of ninjas, but then you have somebody who figures it out, and then everybody follows them and copies their technique, and then it's just like everybody's making it. So far Kaylee's doing great, and I think she's going to clear this one.
Yeah, she made that look so easy, especially after seeing that the rest of the field really struggle with that transition up. She kept her power up. She really popped, and you can see the intensity on Lucas's face. He's telling her, "Hey, you gotta go. You gotta keep moving." Now she's got 2 minutes left, and we saw in the mature male. Oh gosh. That is tough. I think she maybe had too much chalk.
Yeah, well, you can definitely see she is feeling it. Whenever you see ninjas starting to smack their forearms and whatever, they are burning, and they definitely don't feel as strong as they do when they're fresh. And so Kaylee is just fighting right now with everything that she's got. But I think she can definitely still clear this obstacle and maybe still go much, much further.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that slip-off was just kind of a fluke for her, because she's looking pretty good getting through this right now. Couple more obstacles left to go. We've got about 1:30 on the clock. That's about what we've seen other competitors have here, but that was our kids division, so we don't know what they've done to kind of beef up these obstacles. So there's a big lache here. Up to a discus hold. Fun fact, that hold was actually invented by her coach, Lucas Reale. So it would have been pretty sad if she didn't get through that one. Might not be too happy with her coach.
Right now, Mary, her time is really, really good. She's looking very promising to finish this course. Now, the ending is not easy. It's a very tricky, quick grab, but she is definitely on pace to crush this.
Yeah, and you can see that listening, Lucas is taking time to talk with her to make sure she understands what she needs to do to get the clear here. Now, they may have to go inside the special. No, all right, they got outside. That's good. And Kaylee is building it up. Her foot did get caught. Oh, man. She's only going to have 13 seconds on the clock. I don't know that that's enough time to build up these huge swings here.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we saw her have the exact same issue that some of the boys did earlier today, that their legs hit that trapeze bar. And so it's not probably common to swing with your legs straddled in the back, but kind of what's required.
Oh, and she was close there too. She got those hands just in the special delivery slot, but didn't have quite enough time left or energy left to hang on and get through the rest of the course to the buzzer. But our furthest female athlete through so far. So awesome job, Kaylee, getting the beta breaks here on the really just getting the execution on those slogies, being, I think, probably the most important moment of the run right there.
Yeah, she really showed the other girls that this is possible. So I think that's only going to help from a psychological standpoint. And clearly you've got some really strong competitors coming up too, physically. So this is going to be exciting. We're definitely going to see a course clear, I would say.
Yeah, a little bit of a parallel, honestly, between Kaylee and her teammate Reese in the mature male, or in the kids male division. She's got to the final obstacle a little bit earlier on in the run order, and I think, similar to the last wave, that's just going to kind of, like you said, start breaking it up and start breaking open some of these results. All right, here is Susie Q. Riddell, out here to make herself proud, make her coaches proud at Iron Sports, where she trains. Nice work getting through those laches and taking a little bit safer of an approach here. A little bit of a backswing going to the second one, but gets through. Whoop. Gotta love a start box on a mat. You gotta love it. Ooh, and just did not have enough pop off of that sky hook. Looks like the pullback was really good, but I think she just struggled a little bit to generate that momentum, but she's got another attempt here. And that's pretty smart, skipping that first hold entirely so she doesn't even have to worry about pulling it off. Going right into this move. And she gets it. Nice job, Susie. All right, going into this dismount. She's got the dismount now. One retry on the clock. She's got 2 minutes and 30 seconds here. Now, we saw Kaylee get through this with about 2 minutes on the clock. Susie Q definitely not looking quite as confident as Kaylee was looking, but she's still making those moves. It doesn't look like she's tired out just yet. Nice squeeze. She's staying engaged.
Yeah, I agree, Mary. Oh, there she goes. I was gonna say she's looking gassed, but yet she kept making it through each hold there. So I think those holds that she just fell, where you have to actually launch yourself at it is going to be a pretty big challenge. She's going to have to be super fast with her grab. But let's see if she can do it.
Yeah, the build was really what did it for her. I think her hands, like you said, her hands might have been able to hold on, but having the power to throw her hips as high as they needed to be to give those fingers time to engage. That's where she's challenging. Pinky's coming off. Oh man, I don't know how she saved that. And there it is. Great effort out of Susie, but unfortunately just not quite enough for the day. And she will move into, we'll tell you in a second what position she moved into with that run. So far, Kaylee Hanlon in first place with the deepest run into the course.
Yeah, I will say, having done Ninja for a long time, there's not much worse of a feeling than being on an obstacle and getting stuck and knowing that you're gassing out and you just don't have what it takes to clear. It's not a fun feeling, but we keep fighting until we just can't go anymore, and that's what Susie Q did. So she should still be really proud.
Absolutely. And now here's another one of my dark horses. It's a competition full of dark horses for me. This is Emily Bauco. We talked about her ability to execute some trickier moves, which I do think she's got in the tank. She's not only quick, but she also has the technique. You can see her kind of linking through. Little hesitation on the dismount, but overall not too much. All right, gets herself off of those flying bars.
And so far, it seems like Emily's got a good mixture of some really fast, aggressive parts of this course, but then also some slow, methodical. I'm going to be really careful about this next thing so I don't fall. Did not mean to jinx her there.
It is the commentator's curse. I know some people don't believe in it, but I did make Kane a believer over the course of this season. So you were right. She was taking slower, methodical movements. I think she needed just a tiny bit less hesitation on that pop. You could see from her movement that she was ready to kind of explode off of that hook, but just went a little bit late. Just needs to go a little bit earlier here. Oh, gosh.
Hopefully she's okay. I wasn't sure if that ring maybe got her in the face or the head, but it looked like she was just maybe pulling a little too much on that ring instead of letting them just kind of let the momentum swing her into that other hook.
Yeah, maybe that extra pull to kind of get the pop there. It might have just sped up, not given her quite enough time to explode. Oh, that is tough. I know Emily had a lot more in the tank, so it's tough to see a result like that.
Well,
so far.
I was just going to say, that is one aspect of Ninja where sometimes we do fall way sooner than we hoped. And that's just part of it. We get back up and try harder.
Yeah, and another thing too is just this is the Premier Series, right? It's the finals, so falling earlier than you expected on these courses, that that takes nothing away from your skill and the fact that you're even here competing, right? So Addison Stockham now up to the start line. We're getting to our last couple of runners for the mature kids female division here. And we haven't had a clear yet so far. Now, it did take us to, I think, the final 6 runners before we had a clear in the mature male kid, or in the kids male division. So, will we see something similar here today for mature kids female?
Well, I will say Addison's impressing me already. I think she's the first athlete we've seen to pretty much static all those spinners. She basically staticked all those. We're getting into some taller athletes who have a longer reach, and she made the skyhook there look like nothing. She's flying through here.
Yeah, and I think to pull on one of your earlier points, Travis, the easier it looks for an athlete, that the more technical their execution is, and Addison's doing a phenomenal job She's getting through these bogeys. She looks really strong, super locked off. Looks like she still had a good amount of power in the tank, but just missed with that right hand that goes over the top sloper. I don't think she had quite enough energy there.
I'd love to see her get some chalk or something right there, especially since she slipped on that last attempt. But maybe her grip is fine and she just needs a second try.
Oh, and that's exactly what just happened there. Now she has to make one more move, going with a static and super strong grip right there. Oh wow, that was great out of Addison. She's shaking out that hand though. She's pumped. She's feeling it.
Well, and again, just for those at home, just to static to a sloper like that, like she did on that last hole, that is so tremendously hard. You really need so much grip strength to be able to do that, and she made it look easy.
Also making this board look pretty easy. I think the hard part for these athletes isn't even so much the shimmying down the board, but it is getting up to it, right? That moment where you kind of have to give yourself a pull on the rope, a pull on the ring. And then this dismount a little bit tricky, so we're a little low on time here. Kind of struggling with this dismount.
But yeah, you wouldn't think that would be so tricky, but as I said in the earlier age group to you, I actually pulled a hamstring on a dismount just like that, trying to pull yourself up with your legs only. It's actually a little trickier than you think.
I will use this moment to say this is why ninjas should train hamstring strength, but I won't spend too much time on that because I could talk for a while. Ooh. And that was her last... Wait, does she have another attempt? She does. I was going to say, I think she... All right, Addison going on and getting congratulations. Maybe that was an extra little energy in that hug from what looks like her mom. I hope that gives her a little bit extra motivation here to really go for it. That discus hold it's pretty tough. It's a UFO, but it's a sloped UFO, and so it's definitely not anything that you want to underestimate when you're going to it. You need a lot of height to get right on top of it, and she gets it. Nice work, Addison.
Yeah, an obstacle like that is so tricky because not only do you need all that height like you were talking about, Mary, but your hands, you really have to put them in the exact right place, and they have to be there very quick, like way before your body weight starts pulling you down. Because if you don't get your hands until then, you're just going to peel right off. So very hard obstacle, but Addison made it look easy.
All right, and Addison's going to move herself into second place with that run. A great showing out of her. She had some setbacks. She had a little confusion about when she failed. Didn't know she had another retry in her, but thankfully she did because she ended up clearing that 7th obstacle. And that's going to move her into second place. So a time of 3:30 through obstacle 7. Currently, Kaylee holding on to that top spot. The 8th obstacle in a time of 3:04. So that is the time to beat today.
Yeah, and I think these last few competitors, they definitely have the skill to do that. But as we've seen, this is a really tricky course, and everybody has to bring their A game if they want to finish this course.
Yep, and here's another one of my dark horse athletes here. Kaylee was the first, Vivian is the second. Now, Vivian moved very quickly through the placement course, only missed that buzzer by just a couple of extra backswings. And going for those links on to the the fidget spinners and through the flame bar. Love the links that I just saw there. Confidently linking through that flying bar. And her coach, Lucas, giving her the advice to, not keep the ring on that closer hook. I think that's smart. Little bit of a misplacement of the hand there. You can see she's moving very carefully. Nice. Now this is where I think Vivian really can shine, in that when she's locked in, kind of the tougher moves here are not tough for her. She's absolutely got them on lock. So you saw Kaylee, her teammate, easily move through the slogies. I think we will also see the same for Vivian.
And again, I want to point out, this is the point of the course. Basically, you're about halfway there, and this is a super taxing grip strength, forearm strength obstacle. And this is where psychologically it really starts getting tougher. You're physically getting really tired, but psychologically you just need to really start focusing all the more, because your body's just not wanting to do all that you want it to do. So this is where it gets really tricky. And we saw Vivian miss that first attempt there. Hopefully she can get it again here.
Yeah, it looks like she's having a hard time getting her composure here, but she's stepping up again, pounding up the arms. I think she just really didn't want to miss that first swing, that first lâché move.
It looks like maybe she's getting some advice from maybe her parents, or even feeding off the crowd a little bit, because everybody, that's again what I love, everyone's cheering for everybody. It might be someone else's child, someone else's friend, whatever, but everyone is cheering for every single person. And so they all want Vivian to make it through this.
And just not quite enough of a launch up to that next set. I think once she struggled with it the first time, that might have gotten in her head a little bit. It's easy. I think that's the one risk to the retry system, is that you've got the second attempt, but if you failed it, that you might be thinking more about that as opposed to thinking about what do I need to do differently to get through it this time. I will say, though, still a strong performance out of Vivian. She's in third place right now, fastest through the sky hooks at the moment, but with our top 3 fastest athletes from the placement course coming up, I don't know how that's going to hold up. We've got Kinsey, Aria, and Megan Moore, and so I do think we're going to see a couple of them coming up and getting past that point as quickly.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think that they've seen a lot of good beta, a lot of good technique already from the girls before them, and they're going to just use that to their advantage.
Alright, so here we go, off with Kinsey. Now she took second place here, competing against many of the athletes she's competing against today. So she knows how to have a good challenge course showing here.
Yeah, she's making quick work of these obstacles, and I even want to take a moment just to shout out to all the coaches. I love seeing her coach, as we've been seeing with pretty much everyone else. Coach standing right beside them, chalk bag in hand, there just in case there's maybe a fall and they might need to grab them. Coach's job is not easy, so just my hat's off to these coaches for doing a great job as well.
Absolutely, and especially, here's the thing, getting these athletes through these technical moves, right? Moves that are not easy, moves, especially one right after the other, where they really just have to be so locked in. A lot of that focus is going to come from the help of the coaches, right? And just reminding them of all of the tiny little things that they have to do to execute these obstacles, which Kinsey's doing a great job of right now, getting through. She's on that third sloper. Here's the moment that makes or breaks the run. I think we've got not quite enough energy in that swing.
Yeah, I think for these girls to make that, they really do need to have enough gas left in the tank to where they can get a good swing, because if they don't propel their body high enough, they're just not going to have the grip strength to hold on once her hands get there. So she's going to need to propel herself up a little higher if she wants to make that.
Yeah, I think taking that T-ledge out from in between those two, that really just amped up the difficulty. Oh, and those fingertips just had nothing left. Kinsey has moved herself into third place with that run. She's had the fastest time through the sky hooks, aside from the two other athletes who have cleared the slogies. So great work out of Kinsey. We'll see if that's enough to keep her top spot, but with two more athletes coming behind her, I don't think that that's going to be quite enough to keep her on the podium, but still a great effort out of Kinsey today.
So, Mary, I'm pretty excited now because we've got our last two, and the only two to finish the placement course. So, I think it's about to be thrown down right here.
Absolutely. The smile on my face right now, you guys can't see it, but I'm really excited. There's nothing better than, you know, the moment of truth at the end of a course. You've got your highest placing athletes tackling the course, and you just know they have the skill to get through this, and so you want to see it. Whoa! Those reaches from Aria, that was impressive. And now bicycle kick tech, haven't really seen anybody use that so far in this competition. A bicycle kick is kind of I won't say a new thing. It's been around for a bit, but I'm starting to see it a little bit more and more. For those of you who aren't sure what I'm talking about, a bicycle kick is when you see one leg go forward first and then the other right behind it. And it's just a way to kind of, oh man, she almost had that. It's a way to keep your weight kind of centered. You'll see that a lot on unstable surfaces like flying bars. Now, not going to work for Aria here on the sky hooks. She was just there, just needed to hold on. Hopefully she'll trust herself a little bit more on this time through.
And one of the big things on this obstacle, when you make that transfer, the reason you need, no, Aria.
Tried to go quick, and that just ended up not working out for her. That is such a bummer. You know, great execution of that bicycle kick. It got her off that dismount fast, but I think just went a little bit too quickly into the that move and just didn't have enough time to really set herself up for it.
Yeah, I really feel for Aria right now. Clearly, she demonstrated that she has so much skill and experience, and I know she would love to take that one back and get another try, but she still did an outstanding job.
All right, so far Kaylee Hanlon has solidified her place on the podium in addition to our current third place female athlete, Kinsey. And so right now, Megan Moore is on the course, picked to win it all. Look at those links all the way through. Just so much confidence in the way she's moving here. Reaching all the way forward. Only saw one other athlete do that. Easy work through the sky hooks.
Yeah, and she's really doing a good job, and it shows that she really did think things through. Like even the way she started the sky hooks, very effortless, and really hadn't seen anyone do it quite the way she did, but it looked the most energy efficient out of any athlete so far. And you know, that just only helps her have more gas in the tank later on in the course.
Absolutely, and also just making these slogies look so easy. You saw the confidence that she grabbed those slopers. You know, imagine grabbing onto a football, but then putting your body weight on it. That's kind of what grabbing a sloper is like. And, you know, Megan just did that absolutely effortlessly. These boards looking like nothing but a thing. Nothing but a thing for her.
Look at her time, Mary. She is
insane.
Flying.
Most athletes have a minute and a half left when they get to this point, and Megan has, you know, almost a full minute left easily grabbing the discus.
So this part of the course, you're crushing it. You're doing great. This is where mental focus comes into play even more, because you can easily start thinking ahead. You can start thinking to an obstacle ahead of the one you're on, and that's when silly mental mistakes can happen. So far,
Wow.
Megan does not look like she is succumbing to that.
She barely grabbed any chalk. She went right into it, and she has plenty of time. She knows at this point that she's won, just based on her time alone to this point in the course. But this girl's going for the full clear. She doesn't want to be a champion without a buzzer. So let's see her get it. Even doing a great job of just avoiding. Oh, spoke too soon. I would say avoiding the trapeze bar, but.
Oh yeah.
She's got the reach.
Oh nice.
And there is our buzzer. Megan Moore, the pick to win it all for the Mature Kids female, does exactly what we know she is capable of. That is why she is not only the world champion, but now she's also the Premier Series champion. Double championships for her in the 2023 Season 8 season. What an accomplishment. I think that Addie Herman may be I'm sure there's some other athletes here that can do that, but Megan is the first to do the world champion and also Premier Series champion.
Yeah, that was just phenomenal. I mean, she did such a good job, and honestly, she doesn't even look tired. She just did an incredibly long, taxing, pumpy course. And look, she's just smiling and doesn't even look like she's breathing hard. I mean, that is just very, very impressive. So way to go, Megan Moore, our champion.
Yeah, and I think what I really want to highlight too is just the consistency, right? We saw some world champions in the previous age divisions not take that top spot in the Premier Series. But this just talks about Megan Moore's consistency, being able to take first place in the World Championships, and again repeat that against the same athletes, more athletes even from other parts of the world, and repeat that championship. That's phenomenal. Great work out of Megan. But let's talk about the rest of the field here too. Addison Stockham, she came in, and I misspoke earlier. I mentioned Kinsey's name. I think I meant to say Addison. My apologies there, team. So we've got Addison, who completed, don't worry, there's a safety line, in 3:30. And so she is in third place, just edged herself into there. And this one, actually, she had a funny run, because she didn't even realize that she had a retry on that 7th obstacle. So Addison was able to go through the course. I don't know if she maybe got a little extra boost of energy from giving her mom a hug and then suddenly realizing, oh wait, I can still try this. And I think that might have played a little bit into her mental state there. She kind of, she thought she was already done, and so that little boost of energy at the end, like, oh wait a second, I can still do this. I think that might have just given her a little bit extra spice into her run there.
Yeah, definitely. And I know we just saw Megan, but I just want to talk about Kaylee. I mean, she went pretty early on, and yet she went to the very last obstacle, almost cleared that entire course. In fact, I still think she might have had her foot not hit that trapeze bar, because that obviously messed up her swing and her mental focus. But to go much earlier in the competition and go that far, I mean, that was such a tremendous effort, and such a good job.
Yeah, Kaylee, a super strong athlete. Happy to see that one of the dark horses here did end up taking a podium spot, and I think that just continues to speak to the level of execution of these athletes and the skill level of these athletes, right? Because your top two, Megan Moore, she was, in first place, rightly got first place, but second and third, Kinsey and Aria were your other top two. And so for Kaylee and Addison to be the ones that take it away, you know, I think we're seeing as this competition continues to progress, you know, placement doesn't have quite as much of a say over how these athletes do in the challenge course. And I do think it's just because it's so technical. So speaking of technique, let's just take a look at Megan's run one more time. We just got to see some more of these moves that she threw. Just a phenomenal performance overall.
Yeah, again, while they're pulling up those clips, you know, again, pretty much everything Megan did looked really effortless. Like we've touched upon this a lot, but it looked very simple. But again, this is so difficult, as we've seen. So it just shows that her first place finish is very well deserved.
Yeah, again, perfect execution all throughout. She didn't have to use a single retry. Just a phenomenal athlete. Another thing that we'll just talk about as we go into podium, you know, she says that she really loves trying new challenges and pushing herself and others to achieve new obstacles. And I think she's not only done that today with all of her efforts here, but she has also, you know, pushed the other athletes in the field to reach to the heights that she's gotten to. All right, our podium. We've got Addison. We have Kaylee. And finally, we have Megan. What a great showing from our female athletes here today.
Yeah, seriously, I'm applauding them. They did such a good job, as did everybody. But these three right here, again, well-deserved top three. They did so well on such a challenging course. So way to go, girls.
Well, it has been a phenomenal day so far. We are about halfway through with all of our age divisions. That was your Mature Kids Female Premier Series final. And we are going to be moving into the Mature Kids Male division shortly here. Running a little bit behind schedule for those of you that are keeping track on the live stream. But we're going to do our best to move as quickly into that. Now, there is another live stream for the Mature Kids Male division. So you're going to want to hop over to that to make sure that you tune in for that division. And Travis, this has been a great age division to watch. I have no idea what the boys are going to show us, but I'm looking forward to commentating it.
Yeah, definitely, Mary. It was a great competition. So glad to be a part of this, and now we're going to see what the boys do.
All right. This is Mary Layton, the Commentator Ninja, alongside Travis Rosen, and we will see you at the Mature Kids Boys competition for the Premier Series Finals.